Hello again, everybody. This is Patrick Pinto from BC Solutions, and welcome to yet another riveting episode of the ABCs of Digital Marketing. Today, we have the pleasure of sitting with our client, Stephanie Smith from Juventix. Stephanie, before I go any further, tell us what Juventix is. I know it's a short version of a long name, but tell us what Juventix is.
Hi, Patrick. Thank you so much for having me today. Juventix is a regenerative medicine manufacturing company. So we actually manufacture PRP kits and supplies to help clinics kind of expand and grow into the regenerative medicine side, but in a still a very simple kind of way. So PRP as a whole is the healing component in our blood. And so we teach doctors how to isolate that and re-inject for a multitude of different modalities.
Let me ask you a question, and I'll use myself as a personal patient of yours. Many years ago, I was in a car accident, and it left the whole left side of my face totally paralyzed. Now, I heard that PRP can be used as a facial filler. Is that true? Could I use that? If not myself, but could anyone use that as a facial filler?
Yes, PRP can be converted to PRF, which is platelet-rich fibrin, and used as a natural facial filler. What we like about this is it can actually help increase your baseline over time versus a traditional filler, which is going to make your baseline worse. And it's really simple. It's easy to do. You can make it in the clinic, and the cost per goods is probably a tenth of what you would spend on a traditional filler.
That's really interesting. How did Juventix come into this industry? How did they come into the medical industry, as I should say?
So we've worked with osteoarthritis patients for probably the last 10 or 15 years. And we found that even though our viscosupplementation program worked wonderful for most of our patients, we still had patients with soft tissue injuries, and that consistently isn't going to be fixed by our viscosupplementation program. So we started working with PRP, and after trying a lot of different types of PRP solutions, we kind of found that it would just be easier for us to take the things we really liked about some of the kits we'd worked with, alleviate some of the things we didn't like, and just really start to manufacture our own product and make it into something that's unique. And that's kind of where the basis of Juventix started. And it's just grown leaps and bounds over the last 5 or 6 years.
I can tell you that the industry is extremely competitive and that you really have built a model for yourself and you set yourself apart from so much of the competition. I know that from the many trade shows that I've attended and that I've watched your team in action and seen what you guys have done. Again, you really, really do separate yourself from the competition. And that's a unique process that you have. I have to compliment you on that. I have to ask you this question. Do you have any specials? I know this is a funny question. Do you have any specials that you can offer at your clinics?
So we do. When we have new clinics come on, or when a rep brings on a new clinic, we always offer kind of like a startup package because we know it can be expensive to get into it. So our goal is to help mitigate some of those costs. We do offer a free centrifuge with a 20 kit purchase. So for under $2,000, you can actually get the centrifuge and enough kits to perform at least 20 to 30 procedures in your clinic. So there's definitely a huge ROI on that to be able to help that business grow and reinvest.
Well, that's amazing because you work with the clinic and help them. Again, if they're a smaller clinic and they're getting off their feet, you help them, at least you work with them as a partner to almost help them bring in a client base and be able to afford that client base.
Correct. That's our goal, is ultimately to long-term partner with our clients to be able to help them grow and bring new modalities and new revenue streams and different opportunities into their clinic to have better clinical outcomes, treat more people in a broader price range. Our goal is for them to essentially be able to offer a healthcare at any price point, depending on the industry that they're in.
That is amazing. Now, I have a question, I guess, related to the world we live in now. How has this COVID world, how has it affected your clients, your clinics? How has it affected in any way? Are people nervous?
Actually, I would say less nervous and more excited. I think the biggest change we've seen is the number of healthcare procedures that have been canceled, number of outpatient surgeries, things like that have been canceled due to the pandemic. And I really think people are excited to have another solution, something that they can do that isn't a surgery. It's far more cost effective. The downtime is significantly less, and they really have the ability to try to let their body help itself and do what our bodies are meant to do. We have such amazing healing capabilities within ourselves. When we harness that ability and we reinvest it in ourselves, that's when we're really going to see things change. And that's what we've been very blessed to have seen over the last several years.
What I love about Juventix and I love about you and your team is that you're very detail oriented. You're very educational to the individual that's going to either become a partner with you or want to learn more about you. You're not, here's the product, have a nice day. You walk with them step by step. And I love that about it. From the clinics that I've spoken with that are working with you, they really believe that you guys are the knight in shining armor that's come in and woken their clinics up. It's amazing.
So what I will say is the reason we have such amazing support is because at Juventix, we really do put our money where our mouth is. We have an entire team, of clinical staff, everything from MDs down to NPs, just to kind of be a support system. We also have our own suite of training videos. We have our PRP manual, which has protocols, consent forms. Our goal is to not just sell you a product, it's to really help your clinic grow. And that's really where I can say we're probably the biggest difference from our competitors. While we do manufacture our own products, we don't just stop there. We've owned clinics, we've managed clinics, we've been on both sides of the fence. So to be able to see it from that perspective has given us the ability to really put that into effect with our clients. We have an amazing sales force that has just done so great at educating our clinics about what we do. And I think that comes from us having some of the highest commission rates in the industry and making sure that we give our sales team the resources that they need to be properly educated and also to go out and be motivated to want to have a product that is completely natural, that is FDA cleared, that is very, very, very easy to bring into a clinic. One of my sales reps told me recently that they walk into a clinic all day long. Doctors are so used to hearing, I have this one device, it's great, it does this one thing, and it's $60,000. Whereas our reps can walk in and say, I have this device, it does 50 different things, and it's less than $150. So the sales cycle for them is generally a lot shorter. It's a lot easier, and it's a lot more fun.
Sure, I could see that. No, you guys, as I said, and I continue to say it, you guys have really shown a difference inside the world. You've brought a much more cost-effective product to the clinics that, again, built more for the masses and understanding what needs to be done. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's a unique product, but it's broad enough to service a multitude of services inside of a clinic for that individual. I love it. I think you guys are just a great operation. I love working with you guys, Juventix. I hope that you guys are around for 100 years. And I mean this from my heart when I say this. It's an absolute pleasure to work with you and your team. You really are patient conscious, and that's what's important.
Thank you, Patrick. We have been blessed to work with you, and we're grateful to have you on our side. That is for sure.
Thank you. Now, before we leave this riveting meeting, how does the world find you? Besides the traditional bus stops and bathroom walls, how do they find you guys?
So they're going to be able to find us at juventix.com. They can also reach out to me directly. My cell phone number is 910-257-2460, or they can email me at stephanie@juventix.com.
They can also find you on LinkedIn, correct?
They can absolutely find me on LinkedIn as Stephanie Smith.
Stephanie Smith. Okay, wonderful. Well, listen, I thank you for spending the time with us today. I know it was a short and brief call, but I thank you for educating all of the masses that are going to be watching this video and educating themselves on how they can now better themselves by learning from you. And I say this to everyone who's watching. If you get a moment, please do give Stephanie Smith a true look. Give the time, the due diligence. I think that you'll walk away quite impressed. I think that if you're going to make a move and you're going to look at something like this, this is the company to work with, and Stephanie's the individual to work with. Stephanie, thank you so much for everything today.
Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, I love having you. And while I always say to everyone, while it's always great to look good and feel good, it's always great to be seen. Thank you.